On August 21st, 2017, a solar eclipse will pass over all 50 United States. This will afford most of the country a glimpse of what it is like to have the moon slide between the sun and the earth, casting a shadow on us down below. The experience will look different depending on where you are located. If you are along the path of totality, you see the moon fully block the sun. If you are outside of the path, you will see the moon go by, but the sun will never be fully covered. Wherever you are, you never want to look directly at the sun without protection. Like eclipse glasses, not sunglasses. The one exception is if you are able to see totality. Only when the moon has fully blocked the sun, you are safe to look at the eclipse directly. Before and after that moment, keep your eyes protected. Events like this are rare. The last total solar eclipse to cross the US coast to coast was in 1918. And the next total solar eclipse in the continental US isn't until 2024.
Well, there is a new prophecy out that Christians are very concerned about. Apparently, a pan-American solar eclipse, they believe, will unleash the biblical apocalypse. This story comes out of the Express. Zoe O'Brien over there reporting that America and Europe will be plunged into darkness by a solar eclipse in 2017, and then the world will end. That's according to a group of fundamentalist Christians. They write here that the solar event will spread across America, touching 12 U.S. states. They write here also, Western Europe, including the United Kingdom, Ireland, France, and Spain, will then experience a partial eclipse. They state that it will be the first total eclipse to travel from one coast of America to the other across 12 states for almost a century. They also state that Unsealed has said that this event will be the beginning of the end. They write that Christians are quoting the Bible as their main source of proof on this matter. They state that scripture from the book of Revelation, supports its theory, according to the website. They also state that people believe they've pointed to passages from that book of Revelation to support those predictions. They have highlighted passages describing a woman clothed in the sun with the moon at her feet. They state that the woman will be hunted by a satanic, seven-headed dragon looking to eat her unborn child. They state that the child will be born, taken unto God before an army of angels defeats the dragon. They state that they believe that this points to the birth of Israel, which began as a state in 1947 to support their theory. They also state that, given the significance to mention, they state that it accounts the end of the world and say that next year will mark a biblical generation, 70 years since the birth of Israel. Unsealed also highlights predictions of a 12th century Rabbi Judah ben Samuel, who reportedly said the world will come to an end in 2017. But they also believe that there is uncertainty because, well, Scripture warns that no man knows the hour or the day when the Son of Man would return. So, this is an interesting prophecy. I don't know if the woman clothed in the sun, is the moon and the eclipse, but some people might believe it to be so.
Solar eclipse, dubbed the Ring of Fire, has sent conspiracy theorists into overdrive amid fears the apocalypse is coming. A total eclipse is expected to spread across America on August 21, 2017, with Western Europe experiencing a partial eclipse. While solar eclipses are relatively common, this one is different, some Christians believe, as it is a sign of the end of the world. Conspiracy theorists have pointed to passages from the book of Revelation to support the predictions. Although several groups have predicted the end, evangelist and Bible teacher Michael Parker was one of the first to do so back in 2015. Writing for Serial Apocalypse, Predictor Prophecies of the End Times, Mr. Parker wrote, "Those that come and divide the land of Israel, God himself will come to that nation and cut them to pieces." Has America's future just been witnessed by what a symbolic solar eclipse is showing us in 2017? It turns out that this solar eclipse is a once-in-a-lifetime event. This concludes that this is a generational event witnessed by this generation. Another website, Unsealed, fanned the apocalyptic flames in 2016, when they also said that the impending solar eclipse means that we are all done for. They believe that 2017 is the beginning of the tribulation, which in biblical terms is a period in history where at least 75% of the world's population will be wiped out. The article on Unsealed reads, 2017 to 2024 offers the only timeline in recent memory where the tribulation of 2,550 days could begin unquestionably on a full feast date and end on a full feast date. In fact, the alignment is kind of shocking. Exactly 2,550 days fits with the tribulation, beginning on the last day of the last full feast, Tabernacles, October 11, 2017, and ending on the first day of the first full feast, Rosh Hashanah, October 4, 2024. This is particularly interesting in light of the likely possibility Jesus will fulfill the final 3 full feasts in short, subsequent order while on earth, just as he fulfilled the spring feasts. Unsealed also highlights predictions of 12th century Rabbi Judah ben Samuel, who reportedly said the end of the world would come in 2017. But, the doomsayers, to hint at some uncertainty in the predictions, as they've also said that scripture warns, no one knows the hour of the apocalypse.
Let's take a look at this solar eclipse, which many are saying is the beginning of the end. The eclipse will come before the Great Alignment, which occurs on September 23rd of this year. This is when we will see the alignment spoken about in Revelations 12:1. Revelations 12:1 reads, "And a great sign appeared in the heavens, a woman clothed in the sun, with the moon under her feet, and a crown of 12 stars on her head." This is the alignment of Virgo, which will be directly above the moon. According to Revelations, this is when the beginning of the end is to happen, and it describes those times as being like the birth pangs of a woman in labor. On August 21st, 2017, a total solar eclipse will darken the American skies starting in Oregon and moving across the country's midsection to South Carolina. The shadow will be close to 70 miles wide and divides the country in half. Does this portend evil for the nations according to Scripture? Absolutely. In Revelation 6, which happens just prior to the day of the Lord, the Bible speaks about the sun turning as black as sackcloth. When the moon passes between the earth and the sun, you have a solar eclipse, which can occur totally or partly and obscures the image of the sun for an earth-based viewer. The last time that this happened, where the path of totality lies completely within the United States, was in 1776, the date of the founding of our republic. The starting point of the Great Eclipse is on the waterfront at Government Point, Oregon at 10:15 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The center line's last contact with the continental United States occurs at the Atlantic Ocean's edge just southeast of Key Bay, South Carolina. In the meantime, the eclipse impacts a total of 10 states. In the Bible, 10 represents order and completeness. This goes back in history to the 10 generations that began with Adam and ended with Noah. That generation had a pretty abrupt end. You might recall the Great Flood. This great eclipse also is a time marker to the great sign of Virgo, which will be just 33 days away from the August 17th date of the eclipse. As seen from the Midwest, the planet Venus will also be at -33 degrees west-northwest of the Sun. 2017 may well be the culmination and convergence of diverse prophecies, including the appearance of Planet X. Paul tells us in 1 Thessalonians that the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night. People will be talking about peace and safety, but Paul makes reference to this in the same chapter and says that it will be like labor pains upon a pregnant woman. This definitely points to the September 23rd, 2017 Great Sign, or Great Alignment. Are all of these facts, which are in simultaneous motion, just mere chance occurrences? Well, let's see what Albert Einstein has to say about chance. Einstein once said, "Coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous."
Are you serious? Are you serious? August 21st, 2017, the total eclipse of the sun, actually the Great American Solar Eclipse, is going to happen. But will it and is it going to cause a national disaster? Now, according to experts, porta potty shortages, cellular phone blackouts, ambulances stuck in gridlock, these are the conditions that FEMA and other emergency managers across the United States are expecting the week of August 21st, when millions of people converge on the very narrow path of the totalitarian, to be able to see the entire thing, the Great American Solar Eclipse. The last time we had one go all the way across the country from each coast was on November 30th, 1776. This is huge. What is the prophetic sign that God is sending? And it's only 33 days before the great constellation in the heavens, which is found in the book of Revelation chapter 12. Are you serious? 33 days. And then 7 more days, of course, is Yom Kippur, making, of course, the Day of Atonement under the Jewish feast days. Now, that sign in the heavens of Revelation 12, that's taking place on the Feast of Trumpets. Also, don't forget a third sign, and that is asteroid TC4 that's going to go whizzing by the earth very close. I mean, so close it could hit us, or the debris might hit us. It is so close, it's unbelievable. That's going to happen October 12th. What is this? What's the significance of this solar flare? Solar eclipse, the Great American Eclipse? And what's the spiritual and prophetic significance of Revelation 12? Those two signs. A lot of times you hear everybody talk about the woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet and giving birth to the man-child, which was Jupiter coming out of her womb. That's all in the constellation of Virgo. And then in her crown, which is the constellation of Leo, there's 12 stars. Normally there's 9 permanent stars. But during that day, 3 planets move into perfect alignment: Mercury, Mars, and Venus, making this unbelievable constellational alignment. Never before and never again will take place in history. You need to understand why and what is the biblical ramifications. They're very concerned about this disaster. Will we have a major disaster? That's what FEMA's saying, that there's going to be so many people converging on the path of this total solar eclipse that there's going to be chaos, traffic jams, madness all along the path. So we'll have to wait and see. And don't forget Carbondale, Illinois, because in 7 years, when the total eclipse of the sun happens again, but coming from the other direction and cuts across the country, it will intersect at Carbondale, Illinois. Why Carbondale? Well, I've done a lot of research on that. That'll blow your mind.